If we type in timkennedy.com, enter, boom. Oh, GoDaddy, get this domain. This domain is open, by the way. So if you want to own timkennedy.com, you can get it right now because it's been completely deleted. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And yes, things keep getting exponentially worse for Tim Kennedy in a rapid fashion. Following that video that I and a bunch of other Green Berets put out the other day, officially showing Tim Kennedy caught red-handed lying out of his own mouth about having Bronze Star medal with Valor that he does not have.
I've never said anything about having a Purple Heart or a Bronze Star with a V device.
You sure about that?
Per the source I have here, you have a Bronze Star with a V. Is that correct?
Yep.
And yes, I was actually just working on a video. It was supposed to come out Thursday about talking about how Tim Kennedy is committing business fraud against Black Rifle Coffee Company. We're going to jump in and explain that. Took a big twist today as it centers around timkennedy.com, which was pulled down today. We're going to take a look about that. You guys are going to find the story super interesting. All right, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely helps the channel. Follow us on Patreon, grab some merch. Now let's jump into this thing and talk about it, right? So what in the world is actually going on? What was happening? All right, so those of you who don't know, I'm friends with the guys at Black Rifle Coffee Company. Don't have any current business relationship with them, but I'm also very good friends with co-owner Jared Taylor, who also, guys, is a Valor Award recipient, as well as Matt Best. All right, so they also care deeply about lying about Valor Awards, right? And for those of you who didn't know, Black Rifle Coffee Company stopped being a official sponsor of Tim Kennedy in December. They were one of the very first companies that dropped him because they actually have a stolen valor clause in their employee handbook, okay? So they put a pause on all contracts with Tim following those allegations of stolen valor, and now that they have been proven, they've officially cut all ties with Tim Kennedy. The problem was Tim Kennedy refused to take down their sponsorship off of timkennedy.com. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks. Absolutely insane to even think about somebody would do this. For those of you who don't know, lying about someone sponsoring you or a company sponsoring you, yes, it is business fraud, as you can see here. It's fraud in the simplest form is a deceptive practice where one party misrepresents or conceals information to deceive another party for personal gain. False representation is a key element to prove business fraud, a key element in the existence of a false representation of statement that is relied upon. Lying about sponsorship or false representation. Yes, this is business fraud. You cannot say that a company is sponsoring you if they are not. And this is what, July 1st? Now that still was up until literally last night was still up on the website. Type in timkennedy.com, enter, boom. Oh, GoDaddy, get this domain. This domain is open, by the way. So if you want to own timkennedy.com, you can get it right now because it's been completely deleted. Yes, his website is completely gone. Nothing suspicious about that. But yes, when you're about to be sued, it's probably a good idea to finally take this thing down, right? So there you go. Yeah, I mean, good on them for finally taking it down. But guys, it took official requests from Black Rifle Coffee to get him to pull this down, and it took weeks. All right, and this is from Black Rifle Coffee Company's legal team trying to get Tim and his agents to pull down their company off of his sponsorship page because they do not sponsor him. Now, finally, they apparently did because it got to the point of lawyers reaching out, but it's so insane to me that this had to get to this point. Now, just the mental illness almost that comes into this, to think about this, guys, that you have a company that used to sponsor you that cuts ties with you, tells you they are no longer willing to work with you, and you refuse to stop telling people that they're your sponsor. They're not paying you any money. Look, and I know why Tim refused to take this down off his website for so long, because if he had to come out and publicly admit that companies like Black Rifle Coffee Company had terminated their contracts with him, it would look horrible for him, and then he would have to explain why. Now, a lot of you, there's still a few Tim Kennedy meat riders hanging on for dear life out there. A lot of you think, oh, just let it go. No, we're not going to let it go. Because again, we're at the point now that companies like BRCC are willing to publicly say, we have no affiliation with this guy because he committed stolen valor. Okay. That's where we're at now. And not only that, but there's probably investigations at the U.S. Army command level into Tim for stolen valor now. Okay. So because of these recent ones, this dude is absolutely hosed. We talked about it before. And no, we are not going to let up on this channel. There is a huge movement in the Green Beret community right now to finally get this guy, get his tab pulled, get his beret pulled. We do not want him representing us. He does not represent this community. And it is a wave now of pressure. And it's not going to stop. We're not going to relent on it until we see accountability for a guy who should not have the ability to, again, have made millions and millions of dollars off of made up fucking stories and lies about awards and accommodations. Now, this is also, I want to show you guys this. This just got pulled up by Dave Hookstead. All right. And this is partly why there aren't a whole people that I really, really hate. Okay. And, but people who say stuff like this, I really do hate. So look at this. This tweet got dug up by Dave Hookstead. Let's take a look at this. This was from Tim Kennedy on his own page. I'm asked daily about how and why I don't have PTSD. I'm probably the last person on earth you should ask about this stuff. I have unalived kids and women during war. That's a war crime. Those are war crimes, by the way. So, hey, U.S. Army Command, this guy's admitting to war crimes. You should probably investigate that. I have seen my friends and fellow soldiers burn alive. No, he hasn't. My adult life is filled with the things horror movies are made of. No, it's not. I could have nightmares every night or be medicated or be a medicated PTSD victim if I didn't choose every day to make a difference for myself and, more importantly, for the men that died to my left and my right. I don't give a fuck about how they say we're supposed to heal. I'll tell you how to get better. You stop being a pussy. You hear that? All of you veterans out there, combat veterans, potentially like me, lost friends, close teammates during this conflict, you're just a pussy. You're a pussy if you don't just get over it. Here's the thing, man. One of my former company commanders who kind of launched my career took his own life 2 weeks ago. 2 of my teammates and close friends have taken their lives in the last couple of years as well. Veteran unalive rate is potentially looking at being almost double what it used to be. There was a report done just recently that says the VA seems to think about 18 veterans a day are taking their own lives, where it's probably closer to 24 directly and an extra 20 a day through things like overdose. Upwards of 44 veterans a day. So no, this type of fucking guy, he does not represent our community. He doesn't represent upstanding businesses like BRCC either. Doesn't represent any of us. And enough is enough. We are not going to stop laying the hammer down until he's completely disavowed from the veteran community, the SF community, and really just everywhere in general. Because again, he decided he wanted to burn this one in, never admit, never apologize, never come clean. So we don't got any sympathy for him. Hope you found this one interesting. This ain't the last of it, boys. Catch you on the next one.